folks. Thank you for coming out tonight. We will work through our agenda as quickly as we can. I always like to open it up for public comment. Is there anyone here that would like to make public comment tonight? You want to go first? Okay, I think we've got 3 people maybe. Chief, time out. I didn't mean to interrupt. Make sure that microphone's on, please. I don't think it is. I just want to make sure that people can hear you, that's all, okay? Catch them both while you're up, Chief. No. I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I'm here tonight because my right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is being compromised by the city of Brandon. Today at 10 a.m., Officer McIntyre, at the instruction of Police Chief French, came to my home alerting me that I have 24 hours to remove my dogs from my home or a citation for keeping of pit bulls would be issued. After speaking with the officer for nearly 20 minutes, I emailed Police Chief French at 10:30 a.m., and then I left a voicemail at 3 p.m. asking that he call me back as this conflicts with what occurred at the June 2nd meeting. At the last meeting, it was ordered that the application is denied as premature since the applicant has not yet met the preliminary requirements necessary for the board to fully consider whether to grant a variance. It is further stated that the city remains willing to consider any other requests made by applicant and will continue engaging in the interactive process. I was in process of completing my revised application with new information so that we may continue engaging in the interactive process. However, the message delivered by Officer McIntyre has caused me a lot of stress, angst, and hardship when it was my understanding that I was allowed to resubmit my application. I've already shared with the board proper documentation stating that both dogs are used as emotional support animals and each help me with dealing with my disability in different ways, thereby necessitating both animals. In my application and at the May 5th meeting, I, along with testimony from my neighbors, have provided sufficient evidence to show that my animal's behavior poses no direct threat, and I have taken effective action to control my animal's behavior so that any potential threat has been mitigated or eliminated. Again, there have been no incidents regarding my dogs. In my neighborhood, and just last month, an unleashed dog approached my leash dog, and there was not an incident. Police Chief French has an email from that community member, which will be part of my resubmitted application. Early on in this process, I shared with Mark Baker that these animals are not merely pets, but emotional support animals, thus not subject to restrictions placed upon pets. For some persons with disabilities, an assistance animal may be necessary to afford them equal housing opportunity. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, an assistance animal is an animal that works, provides assistance, or performs tasks for the benefit of a person with a disability, or that provides emotional support that alleviates one or more identified effects of a person's disability. An assistance animal is not a pet. Individuals with a disability may request to keep an assistance animal as a reasonable accommodation, as I have already done. Under the federal law, housing providers, which is essentially anyone who participates in offering or managing housing, cannot refuse to make reasonable accommodations in rules, policies, practices, or services when such accommodations may be necessary to afford a person with a disability the equal opportunity to use and enjoy a dwelling. The Fair Housing Act requires a housing provider to allow a reasonable accommodation involving an assistance animal. The June 2nd order states that my accommodation request has been denied as unreasonable. I don't believe that the reasons set forth in this order meet the requirements for a denial, and I have filed a federal housing discrimination complaint with the Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity under the guidance of the Enforcement Director at Housing Economic and Education Development. I am owed the right to due process, and while this complaint is being investigated and while my application is being resubmitted and considered, I ask that my dogs be allowed to remain in my home with me without any legal ramifications. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello.
Good evening.
I'm Tricia McNulty.
How you doing,
I'm a
Tricia?
resident of 213 East Town. And I want to go on record, I am not a dog owner, but I don't dislike animals. I've always been afraid of animals. But in the last couple of years, being with my son for a considerable amount of time, helping him take care of his fiancée with breast cancer, they had 2 pit bulls. And you can imagine the first time I saw them, I was kind of panicked. But that was over a year and a half of caring for that fiancé. I learned that pit bulls can be the most gentle animals that you can be around, and that animal was precious. But I don't come here with a stack or a folder full of statistics from all across America. I think it's horrible when people are abused by an animal, but I also have common sense to understand that some people raise their animals to be mean. I know some of those people. Some of those people are my family, and I have friends that raise their animals that way. But most people raise their animals to be docile and to be friendly to children and so forth. So I don't have facts and all of that for the country, but what I do have is facts about what goes on in our neighborhood. And I will say, I argued with some of our homeowners at first because I didn't even know Nicole had a dog. I'd never seen one. She'd been there almost a year. I'd never seen her dog. And finally, I did see her walking one on a leash and going to the park. But at any rate, we've had people, we are an elderly neighborhood, and we've had people in that neighborhood always working in their yard, mowing, grandchildren coming over, playing at Easter, and just, and we have always been a loving Christian neighborhood. And since all this came up, and I don't blame Nicole. I just think, I'm not even going to say what I think it is, but we're not a loving, forgiving, graceful neighborhood right now due to all of this. But I will say that even since all this has come up, everybody that has been so afraid of the animals in the neighborhood, within 2 or 3 weeks ago, one of the neighbors has several grandchildren, and those grandchildren are riding the circle and playing outside and playing in our common area just as they always have ever since Nicole moved here. People are still mowing in their yards, and people are still, even a gentleman that recently passed away about 7 or 8 days ago, even after one of the council meetings that we had here, he was being helped to walk around the neighborhood, with his physical therapy or hospice nurse or whoever it was. And I kind of thought, well, this is kind of odd. Everybody is scared to death, because somebody has a pit bull in their house, and yet they're still letting their grandchildren run around and play and ride bicycles and do all those things. So if people are that afraid, they really haven't acted like they were afraid, and they shouldn't, because since she has lived in our neighborhood, there has not been one incident. My husband has walked up to her when she's walking the dogs, and she only walks them like twice a day, but it's during early morning or evening when children or when no people are out. She does everything in the world to try to keep people from being afraid. But those dogs, they don't scare you at all. And I'm not afraid of them, and I used to be terribly afraid of dogs. So I just want to go on record, and I hate to feel like I have to speak. I really think the ordinance needs to be just totally revamped and looked at in an overhaul, and make it either gray or not gray, but black and white or whatever. But I know Nicole enough. I've seen her enough. She's not at our house every day, and we're just not best friends. I think we're very close friends, and we have become friends through this, because I do hate to see people that need something like what she needs, and I don't know all her issues. I don't know them, and I don't need to know them, but I trust her, and I know she needs them, and I think we ought to work with her in some way. If her dogs had gotten loose and had been out and were causing a problem and barking, I can say that I do have one neighbor, and I hate to go, and they're friends. In fact, I went to school since first grade with them. And, but I go to their house, and if there's a dog I'm scared of, is that it's their schnauzer who bares teeth and growls and barks and whatever when I go to the door. So, any dog can be mean or disruptive or scare you to death, but hers don't. So I'm sorry I went on, but I thank you for hearing my opinion. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patricia. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak tonight? Good evening.
I will be brief. My name is Monica Baldwin. I reside at 164 Woodgate Drive, and I'm here because I'm a former owner of 2 pit bulls. When the ordinance first came out, I fought it. I did not win, of course. We complied with everything, like Nicole, with the exception of building a slab concrete in our backyard. I mean, it's just common sense. That's what we lack. Common sense today in our rules and regulations. We kept our dogs. My husband walked them. They died of natural causes. And the reason no one came knocking at my door trying to take our dogs away is because nobody complained. And I think it's a real shame that one person with a fear, that fear is a paralyzer, would cause this much commotion, this much stress to Nicole, and this much friction between neighbors. I think it's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Monica. All right. Anyone else would like to speak tonight? All right. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
If you would, state your name and where you live.
My name is Shantae Wallace, and I live in Jackson in the Bondurant area. And I'm here today because I have a problem, and my biggest concern is my 9-year-old son. And I came to, I was having a problem, so I came to Judge Josh McCory for his service for my for a custody with my family. And I explained to him that I do have a criminal family, and they would do anything to manipulate, be untruthful. And I've been an officer for the city of Jackson for 18 years, and I've been in law enforcement for 23 years. I worked out there in Rankin County for 5 years. So Rankin County was my start in law enforcement. But some things that's going on with my son. They have did a fake adoption, and now my son is not in the house with my my mom, and she's 80 years old. So why would they do a fake adoption for an 80-year-old and the where my son was living at? My sister that was there, I pressed charges on her the first time for sexual battery of my child. And I let Judge Josh McCoy know that when I paid him in full. I let him know the situation step by step. And it really just hurts my heart because I explained to him, Judge Hicks that was handling the case, she was being very untruthful with my family members on the deceit. Now my child is not in school.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Yes.
What is that? This is the City of Brandon board meeting. What you're talking about, Judge McCrory, who's a county judge elected by the county, has nothing to do with the city. You're also talking about chancery matters that don't have anything to do with the city. We don't have anything to do with chancery court. So in what relation to Brandon are your comments directed?
This is what I want to spread the word because he is a city official. And when you a
Josh
city,
McCrory is not a city
I'm
official.
talking about not a city official. I'm saying he's an elected official. I'm sorry. And when you are elected official and you're doing things like that, and someone told you, came to you being extremely honest about their child and they're concerned about their child, and now their child is in harm's way, and now they have let my child with a stranger that's saying he's my son's father. And my son does not have a father because I adopted him when he was 1 day old. So I was just want to spread the word. And I go to the Jackson City Council's meeting in Hinds County. And I also went to the the supervisor meeting this morning that they had in Brandon. So I am just coming out, speaking out, and letting everybody know, spreading the word, because a child is involved, and that is extremely serious, and it's my child. I mean, a lot of people might not feel the same way because it's my child, then it's their child, but you know, we all have different feelings. So I am going to be still coming out and, you know, speaking out, keeping everybody updated, because it means a lot to me. And like I said, I need all the support that I can get. That's all I would like is support. But thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Y'all have a nice day and God bless.
Okay. God bless. Hope it works out. All right. Anybody else would like to speak before the board tonight? Ms. Mara, sure.
Oh, this is somebody's phone up here.
That just
one-
left?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't want to take it.
Give it to the officer, please.
Good evening. My name is Mara Polk, and I'm with the Central Mississippi Regional Library System. This is our yearly hello. With me today, I have our Assistant Director, Burnett Nichols, and then we have the Brandon Manager, Amy Lee. And today, just a brief moment just to give you the highlights of what's going on at your Brandon Library. I gave you a lookbook, and enjoy those pictures. Brandon, I've turned to Pearl, excuse me, that wasn't a slight there. Brandon stats for fiscal year '24, they had 70,520 items circulated, 5,007 people used the computers, over 85,000 people visited the library. They have a total of 32,221 library card holders. They answered over 2,600 questions. They had 24,670 people attend their programs, and they provided 1,260 programs for the citizens of Brandon, and then 6,752 Wi-Fi use. So that's pretty awesome for their stats. And then this is just a brochure, front and back, just the whole system, because you've been part of the Central Mississippi for almost 40 years. We'll be we'll be over the hill pretty soon. CMRLS will be, and hopefully we'll have some really great celebrations. A couple of things that we've done with your library is we have had inventory. It was a massive inventory, and we do thank you for your support and for the citizens of Brandon for their patience while we were closed for a couple of weeks. We also installed patron counters that are cloud-based, and just to report, they've been working since May, and last month they had over 4,900 people walk into the doors of the Brandon Library, including the meeting rooms. Just this month, in 2 weeks' time, they have seen over 2,900 people since the end of last week. So I think we're going to break a record here with that. So I also offered to Mayor Lee, if you wanted to know the usage of your meeting room that you control, we have those statistics as well for you, so that you can see what value that is bringing back to you in the traffic. So with that being said, I think I'm going to ask Amy Lee to tell you a little bit about the programming that is going on at the library.
Probably don't need this microphone. My name is Amy Lee, and I'm the branch manager of the Brandon Public Library. I've been with the Brandon Public Library since 22 and the library system since 2015. And I just want to talk to you briefly a little bit about our summer programs that are coming up. The summer program happens, of course, every summer, so it's June 1st through 30th, and our theme is Color Our World, an art theme. And we just invite the whole community to come out and see what the library is all about, what we have to offer you, including resources, programming, and everything to bridge the community. We specifically want to open up our doors and be a community partner and a community resource and bridge that gap wherever we can for all ages. And the programs specifically are going on right now. They'll go on until the end of June. We have teen programming at 2 o'clock on Thursdays, and the big children's programming at at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays and 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. And so we have a lot to offer everybody, and as well as monthly adult programs. And we just invite y'all to come out, see what we have going on. And it's just been a great attendance. We've had up to a little over 100 pre-register before the program at the end of May, and the numbers are still going high. So I just want to thank y'all for your support. Thank you so much for all your support and all you do. And I'm just proud to be a part of Brandon. It's home. I grew up here, and I'm just thankful for this opportunity to serve. And like I said, anytime you want to come by during those times and dates and times in June, let us know. We would love to have y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Miss Amy. Anyone else here this evening like to make public comment for the board? All right, seeing none, we will work our way through the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of June the 2nd, 2025? Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second by Mr. Luke Coker. Audience and anybody out there, Mr. Dwight Middleton is not with us tonight, so he detained and working. So all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. All right, under the mayor. We will take these as a group and write out any that we don't like, Mr. Baker. You ready? All right. Consideration of request to hire Pelahatchie's Pyro Fireworks to include a 12 to 15-minute firework display on June the 3rd at the Brandon Amphitheater at a cost of $10,000. The accounting department has the authority to make any and all necessary budget amendments to this transaction. Board last year, that was an $8,000 volley, and we raised $7,000 to offset the cost of that. There's active work going on right now to offset the cost of that with donations from a variety of places. And I would be very remiss to say that it's not all coming out of the taxpayer's pocket, but that's part of the July the 3rd Patriots Day, Freedom Fest at the amphitheater, and would like you to appreciate and attend that. Number 2, consideration to adopt an order in regard to the application and interpretation of Section 16-11 of the Code of Ordinances for commercial and industrial developments. Long and the short of that is, for those of you that did not get to go through your packet, is the subdivision of commercial and industrial property. It's always been in the residential sections of development, but it's never been anywhere else. And Mr. Baker, you want to say anything about that?
We just needed to clarify that we require so much pre-work with commercial and industrial with regard to site plans and master plans, and also everything in most of commercial developments are going to be meets and bounds, or not going to be lot and block, that the actual plat is not necessary. It's kind of a hindrance to development. And so what we effectively did is say, when there's a master plan or a site plan approved, the provisions of 1611 only. Doesn't do anything about construction plans and all that other stuff, all of which has to be done. It just alleviates the requirement of having a plat per se, because of the various moving parts for commercial development and industrial.
All right, which leads us right into number 3, which is part of the purpose of this. Consideration to approve the master plan for Orleans Way Extension Phase 2, which satisfies Section 1611 of the City of Brandon Code of Ordinances. The master plan is presented is for conceptual purposes only and is subject to change as parcels and land are sold and developed for commercial purposes. Number 4, consideration to approve the deed of dedication for Orleans Way Extension Phase 2 contingent upon receipt of the letter of credit and executed warranty letter from the owner. Number 5, consideration to approve the master plan for Brandon Heights, which satisfies 1611 of the City of Brandon Code of Ordinances. The master plan presented is for conceptual purposes only and is subject to change as the parcels and land are sold and developed by commercial properties and entities. Number 6, consideration to approve the name of the city street located in front of the Brandon Heights development as Heights Drive, which would peel around and go back around to Highway 80 by the police department. Number 7, consideration to approve the engineering firm selected in the evaluation committee for the FY20, that's a typo, it's got to be FY 2025, Economic Development Administration EDA projects. Had a committee that met earlier Had two requests to fill in for that. One was from Cornerstone Engineering, and the other was from Benchmark Engineering, and the committee chose Benchmark Engineering. Where'd those forms go? Y'all had those forms somewhere. Becca, you got those forms?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to put that in 7, is that benchmark approved, benchmark engineering?
Yes, that the committee, well, that's who the subcommittee consisting of Alderman Harry Williams, Alderman Lou Coker, and Alderman David Ferris. Those three, as a subcommittee, evaluated those and chose them.
So that should be approved, benchmark engineering as the engineering firm selected by the evaluation committee for the FY 2023 economic development and trade.
25, typo.
Typo. Sorry, you said it, and I missed it, I apologize.
Sir?
It is 23.
FY,
thought it was a typo too, but it does say 23 on the paper.
Well, is that a typo on the paper?
That's what came from CMPDD. You saw 23.
I see 25.
You've got 25 on that. And the other one said 23.
Well, I would think, you're not doing grants in reverse in 2 years, so I would, we can correct, we can check that and check it. There's 25.
Gotcha, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. Glad I brought that. Okay. All right, number 8, which is a federal grant, folks, so, I mean, everybody out there working. All right, number 8, request permission to hire Ms. Barry Smith as events coordinator effective June 30th, 2025, and set salary according with the memo. And Ms. Barry is here. Would you stand up so everybody can see your face? Thank you, and much needed help, and appreciate your willingness to go to work for the city of Brandon. All right, 8 items. Any additions to that, Mr. Baker?
No, just on the deed of dedication, the letter of credit we do have in hand, they were making final tweaks to it, so we've got it. I mean, we don't have to sign them, but it's coming. The warranty letter is very broad. But as you know, this is a tip, so the surface cores and all that stuff's going to be done beforehand anyway, because it's in the developer's interest to get that done and not get it done. And so that's really kind of requiring that. What else? That's it.
Okay. Items 1 through 8. Is there a motion? Motion. Who said that? Okay. Motion by Mr. Lou Coker, second Mr. Chris Vinson. Any further questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. All right, Miss Mary Ann. And that microphone looks like it's on from over here.
Good evening. May I take them together?
Please.
Number 1, consideration to approve the lowest and best quote from Metro Building Services to replace one ice machine model in the amount of $21,038 and authorize the mayor to execute all related documents and amend the budget accordingly. Another quote was received from Maintenance Services in the amount of $21,922. Number 2, consideration to approve the lowest and best quote from Bird and Cook Floor Covering to remove existing carpet, clean, and prep floor to install approximately 237 square yards of new carpet tiles in the amount of $15,781. An additional quote was received from Kraft Crosswell in the amount of $16,442. Number 3, consideration to approve a Brandon Amphitheater sponsorship agreement with Entergy Mississippi LLC for the 2025 concert season and authorize the mayor to execute the same. Number 4, consideration to approve the docket of claims for June 16, 2025. Fox Everett claims released on June 16, 2025, and the electronic fund transfers for the month of May 2025.
Thank you. Board, on number 1, that is an ice machine in the concession stands at the amphitheater. We have 4 of those industrial beasts out there. This one's been giving us problems for about 2 years. So our current plan of action is to order that. It'll probably won't get here to January, February of next year if we order it now. But our goal is going to be to replace one of those ice machines annually going forward in the amphitheater. Those funds will come out of the operations fund of the amphitheater. They won't come out of our general fund monies. And we just feel like it's prudent to begin to replace those rather than having a hiccup in the middle of a show. If we can make use of it, we're going to bring it over here to City Hall. It's easier to get to, and we can react quicker over here when we need ice. If we have to, we can buy bagged ice and bring it to the back door back here. But as we develop this into a better property and a better kitchen back here, which is going to be, we're going to be working on that hopefully by the end of the year, we'll use them over here. If not, we'll go to Parks and Rec with them. We've got uses for them. All right? That explained? Okay? All right. So is there a motion to approve items? Nope. Oh, we got a motion from Mr. David Ferris. Second, Mr. Jerry Crane. Any further questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. All right, Ms. Carley. Only 6 items.
Yes, sir.
Something must be wrong.
That's it. Keeping it light tonight. All right, item number 1, consideration to approve pay request 2 in the amount of $954,091.65 from Suncoast Infrastructure for the Lance Martin East Haven Sewer Rehab Project and authorize payment of the same. Number 2, consideration to approve the hire of Sammy Elbetniji as a water laborer 2 in Public Works effective June 23rd. Number 3, consideration to approve the quote in the amount of $60,773.55 from Suncoast Infrastructure for CCTV services and sewer system of the sewer system in Heartsease at the FY25 commodity bid pricing. Number 4, consideration to award the bid in the amount of $239,100 to Williams Equipment for 2 new trailer-mounted vacuum excavators and authorize the city clerk and finance manager to proceed with the purchasing of the equipment. Number 5, consideration to approve the quote in the amount of $5,417 from Jeffcoat Fence Company for the installation of a new privacy wood fence at the Highway 468 lift station. And number 6, consideration to declare an emergency, the repairs to the Ellington Court lift station, approve invoice 7654 in the amount of $4,800 and invoice 7655 in the amount of $4,963.75 from Harvey Services and authorize payment of the same.
Thank you, Ms. Carlin. Board, a couple of reminders. Number 3, that is FY25 commodity bid pricing, which we did last year. It's good for the year, so we do that as a way to drive down cost. So it tends to work for us. Number 2, that is we've got one of those wear and tear. As soon as we get 1 or even 2 of these functional, we'll be coming at you to sell the other one that we have now. And maybe some city out there, smaller city, can make use of that equipment. That's the enterprise fund coming out of that. Other than that, everything else good, Ms. Carley. Give us an update while you can. I know you were making calls on references today before we vote on this. Mr. Baker, we are looking for a vendor for our utility bills.
That's correct.
And we kind of, I think Carly spent some time on the phone checking references with somebody out of Greenwood.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And
Lawrence Printing, they've had great references. They do have a company that services roughly the number of customers that we do. So I feel pretty comfortable with them, with the references that they have. It is not public utilities. They do some work for Scott Petroleum, and then one of the local hospitals, they do a lot of mail outs and things for other agencies, but no actual utility companies though.
so what they sent was, I believe it was Scott Petroleum.
Yes, that's correct.
They have about 10,000
Yes.
monthly invoices they send out for them.
That is
So this
correct.
would be doubling their ability to send that out. And we're going to continue to study this a little bit more. We don't. The last thing we want to do is change and have to change again.
That's correct.
Okay.
Keep searching.
All right. Keep up the good work. All right. Is there a motion to approve those 6 items from Public Works? Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack. Harry Williams. Harry Williams. All in favor, say aye. Well, all right, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign.
Thank you very much.
So you say that's Jared Williams?
Good evening.
Good evening, Chief.
I have 6 items. Can I take them together, please?
Yes, sir, you can.
All right, item number 1, request permission for Officer Cody Molds to travel to Gulfport, Mississippi to attend the Dynamic Police Training Course from June 22nd to June 24th, 2025. All expenses will be covered by the department's training budget. Number 2, requesting permission to hire and set rate of pay in accordance with the memo. William Parker as Communications Officer, effective June 23rd, 2025. Joshua Jones as a certified patrolman, effective June 23rd, 2025. Consideration to approve the renewal agreement, the Advantage Business Systems, a state contract vendor for a copier and rental authorization for the mayor to execute the same. Request permission to purchase firearms from the Southern Connection Police Supplies in the amount of $47,336.59 at the lowest and best quote. The purchase will be made from the Drug Seizure Fund. Number 5 is to request permission to purchase 32 Axon Taser 10s from Axon Enterprise Incorporated on state contract to be purchased with the Department's Drug Seizure Fund in a 5-year payment plan. And number 6, request permission to purchase firearms from Black Rain Ordnance Incorporated in the amount of $44,033 is the lowest and best quote. Purchase will be made from the Drug Seizure Fund.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Baker needs to change William Parker, Communication Officer, effective June 23rd, 2025. Is that
Correct. Yes.
Not 23.
Yes, sir.
We seem to be living 2 years late. Mr. Baker, you got something?
Chief, I'm sorry, I'm just catching up. Can we go back over 4 and 5, just so
Sure.
I can make sure in my mind what we're doing? All right, so previously we had trade-ins that we realized we couldn't do that way, and so you went and got straight quotes from, on number 4 for the purchase of the Glocks, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's the lowest and best, equals apples and apples, got that. So Axon, that is state contract?
Yes, sir.
Okay, not through a cooperative, but the actual state contract?
It's an actual state contract. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. And then the 3rd for Brandon Rain Ordinance, 44, that's also straight quote, no trade-ins?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief.
All right.
And then we'll come back to the board and ask the board for permission to surplus and sell and do all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. And is that officer here this evening to be sworn in?
Yes, sir, he is.
And that's it?
But we'll do it after the board meeting.
We'll do it after Fire Chief. Just,
Yes, sir.
all right. That outside linebacker, I believe, is what he told me. Motion by Mr. Harry Williams, second by Mr. Lou Coker. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. All right. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. I'm going to take all mine together if that's all right with you guys.
Yes, sir. Would you give, before you get started, would you give us an update in the audience? Marcus, guys, what's the update on Brother Adcock's arrangement?
Yes, sir. I apologize. I got it.
Brother Adcock functioned as a chaplain for police and fire for many years here in Brandon, well-loved, well-respected, and just
Yes.
a good man.
Very good man. He's helped a lot of firemen and policemen in his day. His visitation tomorrow will be between 11 and 2 at Brandon, United Pentecostal Church across the street. That's Thursday the 17th. That's tomorrow. Service will be immediately following. I think cemetery is the one on Star Road, Crestview. I'm going through the agenda items now, if you're good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Request your consideration to accept the retirement. I ain't gonna say resignation because he's retiring. I know we were supposed to say paperwork, but he's retiring. He ain't resigning from me. Captain Jerome Hobson, effective June 30th, 2025, per his letter. That's our first fireman in Brandon, that started in Brandon to finish in Brandon, ever, since we've been a paid fire department. It's a huge milestone for us. All right. Agenda item number 2, request consideration to increase the salary of Lieutenant Brandon Gaunt for passing his national registry for paramedics, effective June 23rd, 2025. Request consideration to purchase 9 fire helmets, 10 pair of structural fire boots from Delta Fire and Safety on state contract. The total price of both will be $8,027.90, plus any shipping. That shipping's been kind of hammering us here lately. All right, request permission for myself to travel to Biloxi to attend the MML conference on July 22nd, 23rd, 2025. That's just in case. I may be trying to get out. I'm trying to get out of it, but I'm supposed to be presenting with the Fire Chief Association on the 23rd. All right, item number 5 is request permission to allow the purchase of 1 captain's badge and 1 captain's helmet to Captain Jerome Hobson as he is retiring from the department on June 30th, 2025, per Mississippi Code. Y'all need the numbers?
Ask a question about that one.
Mr. Baker has a question for you.
This is his badge and his helmet, right? Not just a badge or a helmet, right?
Yes, sir. It's his badge, his helmet.
And the reason that it's $1 is because it's his badge and his helmet?
Well, it's not his, it's city owned.
Well, but I mean, it's the one that was issued to him.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
it's specific to him, correct?
Just specific to him.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to approve those 5 items? Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second Mr. Chris Benson. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. All right, would like to retire to determine the necessity of being in executive session. Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second Mr. Chris Benson. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you.
Tracy?
All I hear is somebody.
Marion, can I see y'all on these quotes that you got?
We need to swear in this officer first, okay? So let me get this done.